Recording in progress.
Hi, and welcome to Food Farms and Chefs. We have Tamas Szene, who is here from the White Dog Cafe. He is the director of operations for Fearless Restaurants, which White Dog is one of the restaurants that Fearless Restaurants runs. So, Tamas, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So, recently you guys actually celebrated a big milestone, and I was there. I think I saw you there too. But we didn't have a chance really to talk. So why don't you tell our listeners what you guys celebrated, and where White Dog was established, or who established White Dog, and some of the milestones along the way that that Judy has implemented and that Marty continued on.
So White Dog is truly, I think, at this point, an institution in the university campus. We celebrated our 40th anniversary, which I think for any business is a huge milestone, and even more so for a restaurant. As many Philadelphia residents know, White Dog started off as a little muffin shop. Originally founded by Judy Wiggs, and throughout the 40 years grew up to be a really an institution, not just Philly, but now in the suburban locations as well, where we additional spots in Lane, Haverford, Glen Mills, and as some of you might know, we're in the process of building one out in Chester Spring. So Judy is certainly she was a visionary, because the fundamentals behind White Dog, I think, are values that people support. It is a restaurant that is practicing sustainable business practices, obviously using earth-friendly chemicals, and that approach was not typical, or certainly not as typical in 1983 when she opened than it is now. So. And when we purchased the brand in 2009, we immediately fell in love with the concept, and we really felt responsible to ensure that this brand can grow because of all the fundamentals and values that it represented. And here we are, 13 years later now, looking to open our fifth White Dog, and we're grateful for the support that the community has given us. So it's interesting, right? No question. Especially if you sprinkle a little COVID in there and potential recession coming this year or whatever might happen.
Well, Chef, first of all, congratulations on your anniversary, and I love the way you presented the introduction to White Dog, and calling it an institution in Philadelphia. I'd like to say it's probably an institution in the restaurant industry for what Judy did. She came about at the time when Stephen Postis was coming around with Frog, and we had so many great chefs and the people who've come through there. She's been a cornerstone, and White Dog has been a cornerstone for 40 years of my culinary career in the city of Philadelphia, and a place to celebrate, a place that was always setting trends, and to see Fearless come in and continue that. It's always one of the biggest fears that anybody has who is a restaurant person, when you come in and you have, a corporation or a restaurant company come in. And I will say that Fearless really held true to the dynamics and the principles that Judy laid forth. And, so many things through the years, always a very cutting edge, and the changes it made. So that means a lot to us. And your Fearless Restaurants is continuing to uphold those values on a day-to-day basis, where you really are not putting the dollar before the decisions. You're making decisions that sometimes, are not necessarily the best way to go from a bottom line point of view, but you're doing that for the betterment of society, the world, the restaurant industry, everything like that. So I wanted to point out that, you were very humble in your introduction there. And just to thank you and congratulations.
Thank you for the kind words, and I absolutely agree with you. I think profitability and sales are the byproduct of really creating a consistent experience day in, day out. And I think anybody who ran a restaurant understands how difficult that can be, considering some of the external impacts that you have little control of, let it be inflation, let it be labor shortage. Then, you know, it's not that it's been easy, but to your point, at the end, it'll makes it worth it, because the people that you surround yourself that share your fundamentals and your value and believe in the brand see the bigger picture. So hopefully this everybody sees the value, not just White Dog, but any business that you run it based on, what are good decisions for your employees and what are good decisions for your customers, and still be sustainable. And that's a difficult balance to maintain, without a doubt.
And not only maintain, but grow. You've shown consistent growth since you've taken over, and continue to do that. And having eaten in some of your other locations, and I go back 4 years. I was at White Dog the year they opened, and to watch over the years while you expanded, you didn't lose quality, you didn't cut corners, you kept the same food quality, the same creativity, and the same principles, and so different than most companies coming in. And I've gone through a lot of restaurant corporations in my life, and I have to really tip my hat to your drive and the corporation's drive in doing that. So it's a wonderful thing when you continue to carry on that mission.
And I think that same business philosophy was translated into other brands that we operate. We have Louis, which is just a corner away from White Dog University City, and was a different concept, but many of the practices are the same. Same is true for Autograph or Rosalie out in Wayne. Same true. We use a lot of the same farmers and sources of our produce and proteins. And it was really wonderful to see that some of the suppliers that we use had the ability to grow with us, and let it be Stouts Beer or Green Meadow Farm. It's really a wonderful experience for us and the people that work with us. And I think same is true for our staff. Obviously, we've been with Party for 17 years now, coming up on 18th and March 15th. And it's a wonderful journey.
Can you point out to some of our listeners what's some of those key fundamentals in vendor selection, in product selection, and obviously sustainability, but go into a little bit more detail about what makes your your group of restaurants and your principles so special today?
I think you touched on it just a couple of minutes ago, Gene, is that to me, you can't create a really unique or enjoyable cuisine without starting with the right ingredients. So the quality of the ingredients certainly plays a very important role. And now, especially the sort of eat local movement that has really gained a lot of traction in the last decade, it's important for us to support and funnel our resources back into the community that we live in. And I think it's for anybody who goes to the farmer's market and buys produce from a local farmer, because you know where your food's coming from. When you meet farmers and you go out to their farm, you see how they live. It creates this really emotional bond, knowing how your ingredients are nurtured and raised when it comes to livestock, how the animal is treated. And I think there's a lot to be said about a personal relationship, coupled with obviously the quality of the ingredients. But we all understand that purchasing small items always comes at a higher cost. But it's a good investment because the quality is certainly there. You know where the money is going. It's like buying lemonade from your neighbor's kid. You know exactly where money is going, and I think that just makes me feel really good about yourself as well as about the people that you're doing business with. And I think that's the true fundamentals of hospitality. It's not just about what you're receiving, but also what you're giving. And I think that's what really builds a community. And I've been very fortunate to be part of that, which is one of the reasons I fell in love with the concept and the idea of how to function as a community and rely on one another from the beginning to the end of the process of growing something, cooking something, doing something, selling it. So it's a wonderful circle.
I know that one of the things that Judy Wicks, when she sold the business to Marty, that she signed almost like a social contract that kind of guaranteed that he would continue on continue on her pathway, that she, because she was a trend center, she did kind of spearhead the farm to table initiative, and before it was a thing. And so it was important to her when she handed over the business that the person that was taking on that role continued on that line, and that every nuance of the food, like you had mentioned, there's a respect for where it comes from and where it's grown, and also when it's on the grill or being cooked, having respect for the animal and the vegetables, the produce, and producing something that's not just flavorful but also holding in the juices, and so they don't smash the burger, they put it on, and it's a double burger, and they make sure that the juices are all contained within. And so I thought that was an interesting little factoid too.
No question. It was the first business that we ran where a social contract is probably longer than a sale agreement, and it was really I think an immediate way to ensure that her legacy remains. To what you mentioned, it was really spelled out to the last detail in a very careful and very particular manner to ensure that we continued the business the way she envisioned it. And I have to say, I think it was a brilliant approach, and it is really, I think it really ensured that White Dog grew to be the business that it is now, because I think with those details and those building blocks, we were able to grow it into the organization it is now. And obviously, not just White Dog. I can't just look at our business as White Dogs only, but certainly it was very important to that for us to learn how to run sustainable business that has wonderful fundamentals, and that social contract is an important piece of that.
Exactly. Now, given that we are a food show, and I mean, if you're watching on YouTube right now, you can see that we're eating while we're interviewing you. So we love to eat. So why don't you go over with us some of the menu items that White Dog offers inside the restaurant?
Okay. Well, I didn't realize I was going to be tested on my menu knowledge, but let me give it a try. So when it comes to the menus between the stores, the concept behind the different location was we didn't want to appear as a chain. We didn't want to function as a chain. So the idea was that just because you went to one, you haven't been to all. So the menus are different in, I would say, probably about 60% or 70% in themselves, and certain pop-up items overlap that we refer to as staples in the White Dog legacy. One of them being Canada square mushrooms, which is made out of 7 different mushrooms, a little bit of cream, a little bit of honey, carrots, garlic. It's all sort of rolled together in the morning by our chef de partie, and it's one of the most wholesome meals that I think of any cold rainy day like today. And you will see sneak into the kitchen and just pour myself a couple of mushroom soups and sip it all for 10 minutes because of how delicious it is and how it's so soul. The other staples obviously are lamb bolognese, which has been on the menu, I think, for 27, 30 years, if not longer. And it's a lamb bolognese ragu with basil with ricotta, shaved garlic on rigatoni noodles. It's a very simple dish, yet it's one of our highest sellers because it's so wholesome, it's delicious, rich, and summer or winter, it's a very easy go-to. And I think our biggest seller, which we didn't expect anything initially, is our double cheddar burger. And without sounding biased, I will say this: it's rare that you're going to see me have a burger, because obviously we're trying to eat healthy and lose weight and all that good stuff. But if I ever decide to have a burger, it's going to be at one of the white ones, because it is a brioche bun. Obviously, your big lettuce, your sliced tomato, a grilled red onion, which I love. Two different cheddars, Vermont and Pennsylvania local cheddar. We have wonderful bacon mayo with the chive, and you have medium rare burger that is just fantastic. Served with truffle fries. So it's certainly my treat from time to time. And I could spend probably all day talking about all the menu items, but those are the three that every time I think of the white dog, those are the things that I think of. You know what? This item has been our staple. And I think the other thing that people enjoy frequently was a unique thing for me coming from Europe. Fried pickles. And we don't do that in Europe. And initially I was a little maybe not so sure if that's to work. But as soon as I tasted the acidity, that little bit of sourness served with spicy mayo, just get a little bit of fat in there. It's a phenomenal lap. Enjoy at the bar with a draft beer, whatever. And I think that's what's white really amazing, is that it caters to a really wide variety of consumers. So if you want to come in your short t-shirt, grab a drink at the bar, grab a beer at the bar and have fried pickles, you're going to feel comfortable doing that.
Yeah.
And if you want to bring in a business partner, a suit and a tie, have a nice bottle of cab and a New York strip, you can have that too.
Yep.
And everything in between. And I think that's what kept White Dog busy and relevant, coupled with a lot of effort from our chefs and operators to train our staff and make sure the facilities look great. And years later, here we are still having our best years, and I think our best years are still ahead of us.
And I have to agree, because it's absolutely delicious. Every time I go to White Dog and Louie, and we're having so much fun that we're actually running out of time. And I want to make sure that we plug that you have, your Chester Springs location that will be opening soon. So do you know exactly, can you announce where exactly that will be and when that'll happen?
The location is the old Vickers Tavern, and I'm so sorry I don't have the address by heart, but we'll tell you, because Google tells you everything. As far as opening date, it's very difficult to nail down a hard date, especially now between supply chain challenges and just how detailed and multi-dimensional our build-outs are. Anybody who's been to one of our stores can hopefully agree. So we're looking to time it somewhere at the end of this year, maybe beginning of next year. So roughly a 12-month window.
Okay. I look forward to it. In our last 30 seconds that we have with you, where can we find you online?
Fearless.com, White Dog, obviously, and Open Table is probably the main source of our reservations. And hopefully we see many of your listeners side.
I hope so too, because we love you, and we hope that they'll visit because they'll fall in love with you too. So
fantastic! Thank you so much for having me.
No problem. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Perfect. Thanks again.
All right. Talk to you in a little bit.
Welcome back to Food Farms and Chefs. Welcome back to Food Farms and Chefs, everyone. At this time, it's such a great honor to welcome a friend, and we were discussing before the show a friend of 35 years of mine, one of the nation's leading Asian chefs, a consultant, an educator, and just one of the most energetic and kindest people you'll ever want to meet. Welcome to Food Farms and Chefs, Joseph Poon, Joe Poon as he's known in Philadelphia. Chef, welcome.
Thank you to invite me. I really appreciate you get me here. And today I only make dumpling for you guys. Have fun.
So,
Today, happy Chinese New Year. Yeah.
yes, happy Chinese New Year, everyone. Gong Gong Fat Toy.
恭喜發財, yeah.
Uh,
恭喜
for
發
the-
財, do you know what I mean? 恭喜發財?
I do not.
Actually, happy Chinese New Year supposed to say in 新年快樂, but
Okay.
not 恭喜發財. 恭喜發財 is Cantonese. Make sure you make a lot of money, everybody. That's the 恭喜發財.
That is something you talked about a lot as you brought in, and for our listeners who are not able to see, or if you're on our YouTube channel, you can watch. Chef brought a literal feast with us, and then while he was here, he decided to, hey, I got a few minutes. Let me make 16,000 pieces of candy. So he went and did that for us as well. Started with one, and he pulled it until we had 16,000 strings of candy that is just such absolutely wonderful golden blonde, just an incredible candy that's very rich and just very delicious. But we have a feast of dumplings, and and he's holding up a piece now so you can actually see what it looks like. And from a distance, it looks like one of those little gnomes with
Golden
the
hair,
bad
golden
hair,
hair,
but it's
yeah.
golden hair. It's golden hair candy is what
Creative
it's called.
yeah.
But so Chef Poon, you were in China this year for many, many months. You were over visiting family. What was that experience like? What was what did you learn while you were there?
It is terrible experience because due to COVID-19, Hong Kong really not open for anybody. So you were stuck in the hotel, first of all, 21 days. After a while, they canceled into 14 days. And I was there, I stuck in the hotel 14 days, very boring, isolated, and disaster. And because I miss my wife, I haven't seen her more than 3 years. And finally, we get out. And next time I go back there is 7 day isolated. So everybody have to put on a mask, and everybody a lot of restriction, and what they call you have all the QR code. You don't have the QR code, you cannot go to the governor compound or even to go to the restaurant. And then even though you visit the hospital, you need all the QR code. It's very, very frustrating and complicated. And right now they open completely, and people still put on the mask because they are very high volume of the COVID because there's so many new virus along in all around in Hong Kong, and also there's so many coming in Hong Kong because since they open to China, the people come, and China have a lot of people. They don't have enough tests, those medication. So that's why from 10,000 increased to maybe 1 million. So you can see China have a big population, and very easy to contaminate. They try to go down, but still a lot of different states they contaminate right now.
So yes, a very, very sad thing.
Yeah.
So now you're coming back into Philadelphia, and we just got done. Welcome to the New Year. In the end of the month, we celebrated the Chinese New Year or last week. So, Joe, what have you been doing to celebrate the New Year? I know you've been doing some consulting and all,
Yes.
but have you been cooking any and doing some things in Chinatown as well?
You don't believe that, what kind of consulting? I roast 100 duck and kill 200 lobster and 400-pound barbecue pork. And I kill by myself. I roast by myself. And I get up 3 o'clock in the morning. Make sure one thing is very good. All this food delivered to Asian elderly. And then they are very good people and almost like my parents. And I don't mind. I work so hard for them. And it's not the money, but I love to do something from my skill. And because I have the duck house since Sankey 1980 and then turn the Joe Poon house 1980 up to 2017. I keep roasting duck. Now I give all the secret how to roast Hong Kong duck and also secret of barbecue pork from Macau. I stole it from the chef. And then I gave to everybody for free. Yeah.
Joe, I will say one of the things that I always admired about you, and I know every year, several times a year, you do charity events for the elderly population in Chinatown. You've always been a very strong advocate of the elderly and taking care of the elderly in a community that already does so. They're very active in taking care of that. But that's something that's near and dear to your heart. What brought about that passion to really do all you can for them?
I confess. I stole too many things from America. When I come to the United States, Mamma Mia. I don't know how to talk Mamma Mia. Because I went to school, I worked 3 jobs, I saved the money. I need to learn English. So, and then I went to upstate New York on the altar. And they give, I don't believe the world to give you 4 3-year college. And then I have no money. They give me 4-year free college, impossible. Even though I was in Hong Kong, they only give you scholarship. They will give you 10,000. It's not 4 years. So by all means, 4 years impossible. Don't say at least about, for you talk about at least few hundred, I think 20,000 at least. Today, more than that. So because of that, they teach me volunteer, how to help people, how to give back to people, how to work hard, and how to say chitty chitty bang bang, boogie boogie. Now my English is very good. Hey yo, and then go to Chicago, give me a pop. I learned all this English from my American. That's why I want to give back to American, especially my community, because very simple. There's some Chinese philosophy. It's an idiom. When you're drinking a bottle of water, don't forget where you come from. That means when somebody give you something, don't forget who raised you. I get all my education from the United States. And I have a lot of Asian elderly living in the United States. Why I'm not going back to give back to my community as well as the American elderly too.
You're also very big on education. I know you work a lot with communities and schools. You do your walking tours of Chinatown, which is a very popular thing. If anybody ever wants a group experience, unlike anything you'll ever have, a tour of Chinatown with Chef Joe Poon is just an amazing experience. You've been a big advocate of education, taking kids to China, doing wonderful things throughout the year. Where are you at now? What are you doing? I know you don't have the physical business that you once had, but you're still active, consulting, doing things like that. So what are you doing to keep yourself busy?
Usually during the springtime, and then the walking tours coming back. And also, I do teaching in our school because they use my background. How come this crazy Chinaman without money and come to this country become today? It's amazing. They use my background to motivate the kid, invite me to do demonstration. And because I have different culinary skill. For example, J. So using fruit to make sculpture. This time I don't do sculpture, I make dumpling. And then I make all this food for my good friend. And so at the same time, I tell the kid, it's not only learning one thing. You keep learning different kind of thing. You got all different kind of job. You don't know who call you to work and then who asks you to help. So that's why I always ask the kid, don't only learn French. How about Italian? How about Garanga, right? And all different cuisine. Even the Chinese cuisine, we have 8 different cuisine. Keep learning, and then keep improving yourself. You got more job, more opportunity, and mostly give back to the community and always humble. Don't forget where you come from. Very simple. One time I was in Wharton, and then I put down $100 bill. Anybody understand what I say? Within 5 seconds, you answer my question, $100 yours. But nobody got it. Okay, when you're drinking the bottled water, don't forget where you come from. Those kids, they don't know what's going on. And then when I turn around, I ask, who gave you birth? Your mother, your father. The chance of their dangers is about 50% to born you. So that you make sure you understand, you appreciate when you grow up, love your parents, take care of your parents, same as I'm doing right now. Because my parents, my mom, 100-year-old passed already, but I still work on the elderly. I take care of the elderly, that's what I do.
You've always been a big advocate of that, and I've learned so much about Chinatown from you. I can walk Chinatown and understand a little bit more today about the people and what's going on there, but nothing like doing a tour with you. But as we're in the middle of the Chinese New Year, so tell us about foods that are traditional to the Chinese New Year's, customs that people, as they go to Chinatown now, they may see over the next couple of weeks. What should people be eating and drinking while they're there? How do we celebrate Chinese New Year with Chinese cuisine?
So basically, you can see Northern part is different from the South. Northern part is talking about Shanghai, Beijing, Tianjin. Even though in the West, in the Sichuan, right, they're using a lot of, for example, Sichuan using a lot of puludo, and also spicy. And then they were influenced to up to Tianjin and up to Beijing. They're a little bit spicy, not as spicy as the Sichuan, but they're using a lot of dumpling. For example, the last few days, the whole entire family, the youngest and the elderly, they're making dumpling to eat dumpling every day. So it's different from middle of China. So middle of China different, especially on the East Coast, they have a lot of seafood. And also, they influenced by Northern China, a little bit spicy. The sauce is heavy. But go down to Canton and Guangzhou, those very light, a lot of seafood, mostly white sauce. They eat fresh, everything fresh. And at the same time, they steam it. This is our character of Southern China, Canton, Hong Kong. Love simple, light oil, light spicy, but fresh, everything fresh. That means kill by order. Even though one time I was back to Guangzhou, and then I go to Hong Kong. I saw the alligator type in the tree. And then the guy, owner, Joe, you like the alligator? Yes, I like it. He pulled the alligator and cut his head off and make 10 course for us. Amazing. This is the people, they kill and eat. This is different from United States. You kill too much, I think I got killed by myself too.
You know, it's funny you say that. I'm a big believer in eating fresh, and I know this is going to go over so well when I tell this story, but my wife and children have always wanted to have a pet pig. And I always said, no, that's fine. We could have a pet pig, but in a year we have to get a new one because the old one's going to become dinner. And that has discouraged them from ever getting a pet pig. But knowing from you and understanding how food is so much different when it's fresh, when it's just, freshly killed, freshly caught, fresh out of the tank, whatever the circumstances. And that's one of the staples of Chinese cuisine. when you go into someone's home this time of year in Chinatown or if they have Chinese origin, you'll see things like you came today with what was called a lucky money envelope, and you'll go in and there's usually a plate of oranges or things like that. Tell us a little bit about some of those cultural things that we see at New Year's.
Okay. Basically, for example, right now, Chinatown mostly are people from Canton and Guangzhou, right? The traditional of food is different. Today, in Chinatown, I think at least 300 roast pig order from these few restaurants. At least a couple thousand chicken order from this restaurant. Even though this morning I tried to get some chicken for you, that's on the side right there, I had to wait almost half an hour. I got to take it too. And then because everybody grabbed chicken, everybody got the pig, because this is two big items, hardly to get it. For example, I just repeat, they roast more than 500 pig in Chinatown today. And also a couple thousand chicken. This is the special dishes they want so bad. They were there 8 o'clock in the morning, line up already, all right, to looking for chicken and roast pig. And the other one is chicken, Canton is the New Year cake. It's on the side right there. And then, those candy, right? And then, for example, sweet candy, and it's from using watermelon. No, the rind of the watermelon to do it.
Right.
And also they're using winter melon to do it. And also lotus seed and lotus root and all this, they caramelize it and turn out a kind of lucky thing. And also the seeds, you eat the bird seeds, right? And that is, when you take one, you get a couple of money in your mouth and eat and put in your pocket. And this is the culture of Chinese.
There are so many wonderful symbols that go with that, and we were talking beforehand. I every year do a Chinese New Year dinner or right around this time where we take a group of people and open it up to people, and we go for Chinese New Year. And you gave me your suggestion this year of where I do that, and the food, the cultural influences, at a wedding banquet, when they sit down. The whole fish, the way the head faces, is a good luck for some people, not so good luck for others. It must take a lifetime to learn all those little details.
It is because this is, for example, when you buy chicken, don't cut the head off, don't cut the butt off. Why? Always good beginning and also good ending. So keep the whole piece, the head and the tail all together. This is the culture of our Asian. Got to keep the head and keep the tail. So this is what we are. Today, very funny. I create a demonstration, a lot of pool candy. Usually they got dragon beer candy. I don't believe I create golden candy. You see? I don't believe I using a cheat a little bit. I'm using black corn syrup mixed with the white flour to turn out golden. Look at that.
It's absolutely
Amazing,
beautiful.
right?
I love how thin
First time.
and it's just rich
I think-
and chewy. It's wonderful.
Yeah, I think three of us will become millionaire. Golden beer candy, yeah.
So, Joe, for people who want to do one of your tours in Chinatown or a dinner with you or a cooking class or many of the other things you do, how do they find out about
Go
you?
to my website. Go to my website and also my text. You can text me. For example, I just got it from one from Irene Baker, and then she was my management marketing, and then she introduced to Temple. Temple have a class called "To and Eat Food," so she put the teacher and come join to my class. So they refer to go to my website, josephpoon.com. You can find me, and then you can order from me. You will have fun. You learn a lot of culture, and then you must hungry because street food and also Philadelphia American food. One more thing is General Chow chicken is very popular, right? But when you go over the other country, you go to China, Europe, don't ask General Chow chicken. No such thing. Only in USA.
Many foods that way. That's why you taught me. You yourself taught me the background of going to a Chinese banquet and eating the food that the Chinese eat, not the food that the Americans eat. So to our listeners out there, josephpoon.com
Yeah.
is the website you want to go to. I will tell you will have no better time than a walking tour of Chinatown with Chef Joe Poon. Chef, as always, thank you. I cherish our friendship and our relationship of 35 plus years. Go to our YouTube station if you're already not there to look at this amazing feast that we're partaking in. And thank you from the bottom of my heart, and Amaris is in the studio.
Thank you for asking me to come here. I really
Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year. 恭喜發財. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us on Food Farms and Chefs. And you can find us online at Food Farms and Chefs. And Gene?
You can find me across social media at Gene Blum or IBFoodie2, or you can email me directly at IBFOODIE, the number 2 at yahoo.com. That's IBFoodie2 at yahoo.com. Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year.
And you can find me at AR Policus or email me directly if you'd like to be a guest or a sponsor of the show at arpolicus@gmail.com.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. 恭喜發財.